Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video on this Monday morning. You join me here in Reading, that's right. I am really giving you guys the full UK tour at the moment, the start of a new week. And with just 3 days left of the January transfer window, it is reported this morning Newcastle are in for the Aston Villa player Jacob Ramsey, as reported by The Athletic. With just 3 days left to go, can Newcastle get some business done? We will talk about it in this video. But first, I was at the Fulham game yesterday. If you haven't seen it already, be sure to go and check out those videos. It's fair to say I had a pretty good time. I had a great day, actually. If you want to see a little bit more of the day, go and check out my YouTube members and my Patreon. I went to Hanwell Town, had a few beers, watched the match over there, actually watched them win over there. So went to Fulham. That was my second win of the day. And we didn't necessarily play the best. You know, I thought Bruno was uncharacteristically quite poor in the game, but look, we won. Burn and Longstaff both scored. 2 Geordie lads getting on the score sheet, and it was fair to say there was another Geordie lad who was pretty happy. Alan Shearer sat in the away end. Loads of fans. I mean, I would actually say, of games of late, one of the best away ends I've been in. You know, there was some tough ones, like when I went to Spurs and then all of the trains got cancelled and were lost. I mean, this one was jam-packed, 4,000 Geordies. There was no empty seats. It was tremendous. So fingers crossed we can have, you know, another FA Cup game just like that one, and we will play either Wrexham or Blackburn at the end of February. They actually play tonight, so we'll find out tonight. It's away from home, another away day. But, you know, if you were going to get one, they aren't too bad. So we'll wait and see on that one. But in terms of who's playing in those games, you know, we'll have to wait and see. There was 2 lads missed out of the Fulham game. Both Lascelles and Almiron were slight shocks to not see in the squad whatsoever. Eddie Howe was asked about this. He said that Almiron hadn't been very well. We actually saw Miggy's missus put a few Instagram statuses up of hearing that little boy with you know, like face masks on, looks like, and we saw Miggy going into the RVI, which obviously sparked a lot of questions. Is Miggy unwell, or is Miggy going to get himself a late fitness test or a fitness test before heading over to Saudi Arabia, where he has been so heavily linked? And then Lascelles, you know, Lascelles is actually a surprising one for me, because I know his contract's coming to a close, but I would be quite shocked for Lascelles to leave. I think Eddie Howe seems to really like him. I think Lascelles you'd imagine, is happy here. I don't imagine he's getting paid loads. And I think he's had a really good season. And I'm not saying that I want Lascelles to be our captain for years to go in the future. He's been a fantastic captain for the almost, you know, 10 years or whatever that he's been here. Maybe the club are going to get a little bit ruthless. And we've spoken about that in previous windows. In the summer window, Newcastle have got a lot of players there that really are taking up space in the squad. You know, we've seen us let Manquillo go this January window. There's been talk around Dummett, Ritchie, contracts coming, you know, of like 8 or 9 players really who don't really get a shift. You know, we're talking like a handful's contracts end this summer window, and could Newcastle go, look, we are going to let a lot of you go? But that's the thing with Lascelles. He's not at the top of my list for that one. And it's not to have anything against Richie, Dummett. You know, if Eddie Howe really wants to keep them around, then give them a job on the coaching staff. Give them a job doing something else. But don't give them a job filling up a 25-man squad that we need space in. But of all those players, I would probably give Lascelles another year. But if the option is another year, or selling him to Besiktas, which he is heavily linked with, for 10, 15 million, then maybe we need to go back to that word, ruthless, and try and let some of these players go. And that's pretty much been the talk all this window, hasn't it? Funnily enough, a year ago today, we were signing Anthony Gordon. And remember how late that felt? Yeah, well, it's even late. It's getting on even later than that now. And Newcastle are still yet to bring a body through the door. Having said that, the spend in the Premier League this January compared to last January is down about 200 million. So it's not just Newcastle, it is the whole Premier League who are being careful. It's the whole Premier League who haven't want to spend this January window. But could we be looking to spend in the 11th hour of this January? Because Big links this morning coming out with Newcastle and Jacob Ramsey. That's right. The Athletic are reporting Newcastle have made approach for the player. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I mean, this guy's a real talent, 22 years old. The maths just doesn't add up at the moment, you know. If it's because Miggy is in fact on his way to Saudi as we speak, Lascelles is currently digging into some food over in Turkey, getting ready for his trip. You know, if all of that's going on, then yes, maybe we could see this one go over the line. But I think it's a product of the Villa Academy. You know, in their eyes, I've no doubt he's worth a hell of a lot of money. And I don't think it's one that Newcastle are just going to be able to, you know, turn up and get done so close to the end of the window. And in terms of finance, you know, how much are they going to want for this guy? 50 million? You know, it's going to be a big fee. Again, when we come back to it, if Miggy did leave for 30, that's 30 million over 5 years, which, you know, comes to 150. Then if we bought Ramsey for 50 million, you have to pay over 5 years. So then technically we'll be selling Miggy for 30 and we'll only have to spend 10 on Ramsey right now. So the figures do work out. But I just think there were 3 days to go. Villa aren't just going to let us have him. They're going to put a real big price tag on this guy. And is it the position that we need? Now, don't get me wrong, we need players. I'll take a lot. I was going to say anyone. Not quite there yet, but there is a lot of players that I think could fit into our side, and I think he's one that would be great. But where do we need players? Really, we've been discussing defensive centre mid all January window. He's not a number 6, as we like to call it. He is not a defensive midfielder. He's more like a Willock, more of like a bursty player who has loads of attributes. And don't get me wrong, if he could be part of this kind of midfield 3 dynamic, I mean, at the moment, as I've said already, it's a good job Lewis Miley's come in and been fantastic, because without him, you know, we wouldn't have had enough midfielders at all. So yes, don't get me wrong, Ramsey, 50 million, sign the check, get him in, sounds good to me, but it's not the type of player we've been looking at. And as I say, the Athletic reporting it first thing this morning, Ornstein and Waff reporting it, and then as the mornings kind of come on, I should say, it's not the day yet, a few other outlets are jumping on it. But as we talk about the rest of the day, I would not be surprised if some of the Miggy and Lascelles stuff starts to reveal throughout this day. So if you don't want to miss out on it, be sure to subscribe. We'll be hot on it over the next few days for the rest of this January window to see what happens next. But as I say, I appreciate that with FFP, and I think we probably do have some money behind the back of the settee that we can get out and we can use late in this window. I'll be surprised if it was 50 million for Ramsey. I think it would be more like if we did just pull out that 6 million for a loan deal somewhere. Having said that, we wouldn't do it all January. I think we will do it if we have to at the end. I think a lot of it's waiting on Miggy being spotted in Saudi Arabia, if I'm perfectly honest. And I think if Miggy doesn't go, as I say, with 3 days to go, I'm not sure what's going to happen. And that's the thing, we've got Villa tomorrow playing. We're actually playing Villa tomorrow night, so Eddie Howe is going to have his players and mindset on the game. It's going to be up to Ashworth and the other guys to start getting some of this done. So let me know your thoughts down below. As I mentioned already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. As I say, Villa game tomorrow, so plenty going on the channel, so be sure not to miss it. Thank you for watching. We'll see what happens with this one, and I'll catch you later.